water. All right. I know you probably don't have water spills, but if it's raining, that's a great example. And then we'll pour some in somebody's driveway. All right. This I would consider a brand new spill. It's pooling oil. It's oil above the ground. That's the only time you're going to use what we call oil solutions powder. I'm sure you guys have used oil dry and oil pads and like all the kitty litter products that are out there. This is faster, better, cheaper. It's going to work so much better. So you put that on. The big takeaway from the powder is, and the biggest mistake people make is when they put it on, they kind of put it on lightly like that. Okay, you have to put it on until you have white virgin powder on top. And the reason for that is that means that the oil went all the way through, got it all, and now it's not working anymore. It stopped working. So powder only for pooling oil. Pooling oil. So
do you rub that in, sweep that in? Like
you don't have to sweep it. Nope, you don't have to do that. You just apply it and it does all the work for you. You see, I didn't do that. I didn't do any of that. I just put it on. The only thing you do is you want to put it on a little bit heavy till you have virgin powder on top. Great part is it works right away and you can't waste any of it. So all the product that stayed, virgin product, the white product, you take a broom, sweep that off, and you get it all back. And it only uses exactly what it needs. I'm sure you guys are familiar with oil dry, like you just mentioned it. And I've been to 1,000 spills with oil dry. And what happens with that is I see guys dumping 10, 15 bags of that stuff. And it's all garbage now. You have to get rid of it all. This only uses what it needs, stops working. You get all the excess back. And now here's all my oil. And even if it's raining outside, there's no rainbow sheen. There's nothing coming off this. It's basically turns into a dry rubber. I would say you leave it for about 10 minutes, so like that to be safe. And then come with a broom. I'm going to use the scraper. And within about 5 or 10 minutes, you get dry, non-toxic rubber. You'll never be able to find the oil in here. This would be like if I just reached down and ripped the bottom of your shoe off and grabbed the rubber sole. That's basically what this is now. You'll never be able to find the oil that we captured here. Toss that in the garbage. Now, this is where you guys are going to probably use the product most. So, you guys can you see the oil stain on the table there?
Yes.
Okay, so this is mostly what you're going to use the product for. So now we're going to go over to the liquid. This is what you guys ordered. In fact, I think I sent you these bottles too. Did you get it, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
What about the powder? Did you send any powder?
I didn't send you the powder because I know you were dealing with a specific issue, and I just wanted to deal with that. And the powder would only be for pooling oil, so it wouldn't apply to what you're dealing with. And you're just going to use the liquid. So now you have an oil stain. So we got oil solution step 1 and 2. You can put this on, you can pour it on, you can spray it on. I'm going to send you a video of spraying it on, which is actually pretty cool. It's called oil solution step 1, step 2. I'm not even looking which is which. You could do step 1, you could do step 2, you could do step 2, step 1. Mainly you have to use equal portions. That's the biggest takeaway from this, equal portions. And you can't combine them beforehand. They have to remain separate before you apply them. Some people are smart and they think, hey, I'll put them all in one bottle. So then it turns to a gel in the bottle and you basically ruined it. I like to do it at the same time because you want to use the equal portion. Because if I do 1 and then 2, I really don't know how much 1 I put down, how much 2 I put down. So I like to do it together because I could see it going on. And you don't have to get crazy. You just want to be close to equal portions. You don't have to get nuts. And then basically if you pour it on, you want to rub it in. And the reason for that is if you pour it on, you just want to make sure that you rub it into the area that you want it to work on. And you can see right away it turns to a gel. That means you nailed it. You did it perfect. If it's a little bit watery and milky, it's okay. It just means you used unequal portions. It'll still work. It's just going to be a little sloppier. So usually you do it 1 or 2 times. It's not that hard. You see, it wasn't that difficult to do it. So anyway, now the powder you put on, you clean it right up. I really need you to listen to this part. The liquid, you do not clean it up. You need to let it sit and work. What it's going to do is it's going to draw that oil out of the ground, and that's going to turn after a few hours, or I'd say overnight, it's going to turn to a dry, non-toxic sand, which if you showed up the next day, you probably wouldn't even see it. So it'll just be gone. So you don't clean up the liquid. If I clean this up right now it'd be like putting Dawn soap on my hand and just putting my hand under the faucet and just washing it, just letting the water just wash all the Dawn soap down the drain. So it's kind of a waste. You might have some guy, you know what it is? When you have an oil spill, everybody's scared. Everybody's scared, right? You're like, oh no, I'm gonna get sued. Police are gonna whatever. It's a bad situation. So a lot of guys put it down and do clean it right up because they go, we got to get out of here. And some guys, you might have a little bit of success, but you're not really going to clean it that well. You're still going to have an oil stain there. If you can leave it, you'll have great results. It'll remove the oil stain, and you do it. So I would recommend leaving it because panicking, being scared, all that stuff isn't going to get you anywhere. You know what I mean? You're just adding to the problem at that point. So it's this will solve the problem. This will get rid of the oil stain, everything. And you just need, if anybody's curious or coming around or asking, or somebody's going to show up, you just explain it to them. That's my best advice. I'm just going to jump over here to the water thing. You saw me pour the fuel in the water. I'm going to grab all my good powder and save it, put that in the pile. And then there's all my oil. It's just dry rubber. I can just wring it out. A little bit of water comes off there. My water is crystal clear. And that's what you're walking away with. On heavier oils like hydraulic oil, if you use this, it usually won't mat up like this, like a big one piece. It'll usually be chunks, which is fine. It's the same exact situation, same cleanup. Your area will be clean, but it might not all stick together, and that's just due to the nature of the hydraulic oil. It just doesn't allow it to stick all together. But it's the same cleanup, but it'll be smaller chunks. But it's same thing. Questions?
I actually had a question. So I seen that you brushed in the liquid on that. Is that something we have to do as well? We brush it in after we pour it on?
Okay, so if you pour it on, yes, and here's the reason. It's just because it's the nature of the liquid. So you pour one on, you pour two on. They didn't, one is drifting over here, two is go over here. So the brush is just to keep the product where you want it to be. You know what I mean? You don't want it running down the street or running all the way. You want to use it properly and keep it there. So that's all a broom or a brush is for. If you use sprayers, what I do is I have two sprayers. I'm going to send you a video of this. Two sprayers, step one, step two. So I spray them at the same time, just the way I poured them on at the same time. You spray them, and when they hit each other, they turn into that gel right away. So the spraying effect does that, and you don't need to broom it in if you spray it on, because the sprayers kind of do it for you. And that's a great application, especially garbage companies are my biggest companies that I deal with. We sell to Republic, Waste Management, you guys. And typically what guys will do is they'll put the two sprayers on and just walk down the street and just spray the one and the two. And you could even do like a light coating. So this way you could drive over it right away. You don't have to like restrict the area or anything like that. Because you with the sprayers too, there's not a lot coming out. And when you spray them, they're hitting each other, turning into this. And it's really safe to drive over almost immediately. You don't have to close the road down or do anything like that. That's a great application. And like I said, I'll send you a video of me cleaning up right in front of my house. A garbage truck drove down and left a 2-foot by 300-foot hydraulic down my block. And I grabbed my wife. I go, hey, come videotape me. I'm going to clean this up. So I'll send you that video. And it's exactly what you guys would do most of the time. That's a great application. But pouring it on is perfect too. It just, depends on what you have available to you.
And then we leave that overnight like that, like it's on your table.
You just leave it.
Is that slick? So if a motorcycle comes along, is he gonna bite it? I've had that happen where we had a motorcycle hit a hydraulic spill, crash, go to the hospital, and it's all bad.
Yeah, great
What
question.
happens there?
Great question. So first of all, yes, the hydraulic oil is going to do that to the motorcycle. We're starting to reverse that effect right away. It neutralizes the oil effect. So there's no odor, there's no slick, there's no sheen, there's no residue. This takes it out almost immediately. The only thing is you have to leave it. So if it's a roadway, like I was just explaining, if you use sprayers and do a light coating, just put a light coating down, it'll dry really quick. It'll dry fast, and you could almost walk through it or ride over it immediately. And that just is doing you know, a light application. Like I poured it on here, so I put a lot on here. So this, yeah, if this was in a roadway for the next 45 minutes or so, if I it's a little bit slick. So I don't want to do this in a roadway. I want to use sprayers and do a light coating. Or if you don't have sprayers, tell the guys, you know, if you're pouring it on, you know, do a light coating so this way it'll dry really quickly and people can drive over it right away. But I would say this is going to be the better option than having the actual oil there. The oil is the problem. This is going to start to be the solution.
So how do you purchase this? What does it come in?
Great question. So it comes in all the usual suspects. So I would not recommend bottles like this. This is too small. This is not enough to do a cleanup. This is for, you know, somebody in their garage with a little lawnmower spill. So this comes in 1 gallon jugs. 5 gallon pails is my most popular package. It has a pour spout on the 5 gallon pail, so it makes it real easy to use just to pour it out of the 5 gallon pail. And then with Waste Pro, actually, we actually sell you guys. Well, then we have 55 gallon drums, and then we have 275 gallon totes. That's what some of the Waste Pro branches buy, and then they keep it in their shop. And the tote has like a on the bottom of it, it has a like a hose pour spout, and then you can make your own kits. And that's what I think most of the guys do. And they'll fill up 5 gallon pails or whatever size they want, and then go to spills. The biggest
split tote.
So you actually get 2 totes. You get a tote of step 1, a tote of step 2. Or if you got a 55 gallon drum or a 5 gallon pail, you're always going to get 5, you know, whatever size of step 1, and then whatever size of step 2.
I say we get 3 55-gallon drums of each one.
Okay.
One here, one in Nook County, and one in Athens.
Okay. That's perfect.
What's the storage requirements on those? Do they have to be stored in a climate controlled area?
So there's so much good information about this product. One is the expiration date. I actually have the original batch we made. It was about 22 years ago. I have it in my office, and we break it out about every year just to see if it still works. If I sold you that, you wouldn't know that I gave you brand new stuff or 22-year-old stuff. It's amazingly resilient. It's crazy. So expiration date, there's almost none. Powder, same thing. Storage requirements, basically almost nothing. The powder, we sell this too in 30-pound bags, and some people buy totes of it where it's almost like the 275-gallon tote, but it's like a box tote of it, and you can just leave it open. You don't have to cover it or anything. There's like no requirements for it. The liquid, same thing. You'd store it inside, outside. There's really the only times I will help people is like up in Maine, Vermont, Canada, where it's like literally 20 below, and I'll say, you know, it could freeze. The liquid could freeze. So if you want to use it, I would bring it in, and you just have to keep it above like 18 degrees, you know, for it to not freeze. You guys don't have that problem, so I don't think you have to worry about that. I won't go into that too much. So really, where you are located, you won't have any restrictions upon storage. Inside, outside, wet, dry, doesn't matter. By the way, you could use this if it's raining outside or anything. You could use this in any weather conditions. In fact, the liquid, I encourage people to use it in when it's raining, because the liquid is water soluble. So if you were doing a street cleanup and it's raining, the rain will be pounding the product into the ground for you. So it'll almost be like you have a guy there with like a broom, like rubbing it into the oil stand. So that rain is actually great to use it on. And you were starting to ask me a question. I'm sorry.
So the powder, you said it comes in like 30-pound bags.
30-pound. We have 10-pound bags, 30-pound bags, and then loose if you want to buy it like just in a big 800-pound box. And then usually I would tell people just get like an ice scooper, a big ice scooper, and just leave it in there. And every time you need some, you know, fill your bag up, and now you have a good amount. One of the biggest things, I'd say one of the biggest problems I run into is people not having it, because when you have an oil spill, it's not like you have a lot of time to kill. You know, it's usually we got to clean this up right now. You know, somebody's angry. So not having product is one of my biggest problems. Like whenever my phone rings and I look and it's California, I'm in New York, so it's California, it's Ohio, it's Texas. Right away I see the phone ring. I'm like, all right, here we go. You know, somebody needs it right now. and I got like a 5-day transit, you know, in between me and that person. Even you guys, I overnighted that stuff, and that gets quite expensive to do too. I do have a lot of customers who order it like whenever they need it like that. They overnight it, and Jerry said the same thing to me the other day, which is the 150 or $200 you're going to charge me for the overnight fee, which is FedEx or UPS, is cheaper than me having to put a new driveway in for somebody. So that's another thing too, is every single company that uses this product on a regular basis, they all report to me. Like I keep in touch with all our customers, and usually after a year I'll have like a meeting with people, and everybody says the same thing. They tell me how much money they're saving, because this is dollars to clean up an oil spill. Whereas if you call, like we started in the beginning of the conversation, if you call an environmental company or power washing company, you guys know it's thousands, it's thousands of dollars. So I guarantee you'll be in the same boat as when you start using this product, you look a year out, you'll be saving, it'll probably be tens of thousands of dollars.
So all the fluids that are typical of a truck, diesel, oil, hydraulic fluid, DEF, are there any of those fluids that, should not be used?
No. So everything that comes out of a machine, a truck, a boat, is these products work only on oils, and all the things that come out of a truck are oil based. So even your antifreeze, coolant, power steering fluid, motor oil, hydraulic oil is probably my biggest one. Obviously diesel, gas. It works on all of those fuel oils. Yeah. So it doesn't work on even food oil. If you guys have food grease oils, it works on the food oil is the same as oil. It's oil. So this product will work on food grease as well. I always get that one. You probably be it's not really designed to clean clothing.
It'd be chalky.
No, not only that, it's just so. Yeah, you might leave a little bit of that white chalkiness on your thing, but so here's a trick for you. And I hate telling people this because sometimes they do this then all the time, but the step 1 by itself is fantastic for removing like just the oil rainbow sheen. And we have a lot of companies that buy just the step 1 all the time, a lot of truck and fleet companies, because a truck is delivering, or it's idling for a while, and you get just a couple of drips of something, and then the truck drives away, and it's raining out, and then you have that rainbow sheen, there. And there's a lot of companies that don't like that. So if you take the step 1, put it in a sprayer, as soon as you hit the sheen, it will clean it, and it'll disappear immediately, and it will never come back. You're probably all thinking, oh, Dawn soap does that. Dawn soap doesn't do that. Dawn soap is toxic, number 1, and all it does is it just drops the oil under the water. So even if the water is just an inch deep, it hits it, drops it, and then it's still there. The soap is there and the oil is still there. This cleans it where it'll never come back, and we'll get rid of it.
What if my dog chews on some of it?
Great. So you see him not wearing gloves. There's nothing you could do to hurt human, an animal, vegetation, anything with this product. Like I said, you could pour this all over your lawn. Not one single blade of grass will be hurt. If your dog ran through it and licked it, zero issues. If your dog ran through soap and licked it, now granted, if it's just a lick or two, he's probably just going to stop doing it. But soap is poison. It's toxic. So you actually poison yourself if you ingest soap. This, if you got it in your mouth, you swallowed it or something, zero negativity. Nothing bad will happen to you. I've had my hands in it for 22 years now. Still got all my fingers. But I also know what it's made of and all that, and there's nothing in it that'll hurt you.
Yeah, I just know we're in and out of residential areas all the time, and people walking their dogs and giving you the side eye. You out there trying to clean us up.
So here's the thing with that.
Their dogs and they do their kids anymore.
Oh yeah.
So here's the thing with that. Once you guys use it a couple times, you'll be same as me, same as everybody who uses it. You get a lot of confidence. So what I usually recommend for that is, again, if somebody's watching you, they're concerned about what you're putting down. really what all you're going to need legality wise is the SDS sheet. My SDS sheet is on my website. We're very forthcoming with all our stuff like that because we know the sensitivity of these situations. Most companies, you can't even get an SDS sheet because it gives away proprietary information. But ours is right on the website, and you can give those to people. You can give people the website. If you ever have a somebody who is concerned, maybe angry about what you're doing or whatever, you can consider me a free part of your staff. I'll talk to them for you. I'll explain the process of how it works, what it is. I could put them at ease. I'm like 99% with that. The only time I have trouble is if somebody has an agenda, if somebody just doesn't like you guys, or they want a new driveway, and they see a big rich oil waste company, and they think, I want to get a new driveway. Those are very difficult. I could tell right away when somebody is like that. I know almost like within the first sentence, I'm like, oh boy, this guy, he's just looking for something. But most people aren't like that. I would say most people, they might be mad or whatever. They tell you, going to sue you, all that stuff. The great thing is if somebody is like that and they go, well, I'm going to sue you and all that, getting this product down fast is so important, because once you get this down, the oil is pretty much neutralized, and almost right from the get-go is way better than it was. And every minute it sits there, the oil is going to be gone. So if somebody's going to sue you and it's like a whole mess, get this product down quick, because the next day he has no case because the oil's gone. There's nothing there. What's he going to sue you for? Just because you have that little white chalkiness, that's going to disappear too. 22 years, never been sued. I've never had it not work. I get calls every day, people just thanking us, like, oh my God, this was, I thought we were going to have to get a new driveway, or this was all down my street and it looked terrible, all these things. And people just thanking us, go, thank you. And usually I get called in after the company tried to clean it up, then the power washing company tried to clean it up, then the environmental company tried to clean it up, and I'm usually like the fourth guy. And everybody says the same thing too. They go, why didn't they just use this first? Like, they put so much money into this, and I go, I know, it's crazy. And I don't know the answer to that. I don't know why people don't do that. But anyway, it's having it ready to go, getting it on right away is going to be a lifesaver for you. I'm telling you, if you do that a couple of times, oil spills with your trucks, your whole fleet, you will not even care about it anymore. It'll be a thing of the past.
If you power wash the chalky, will that come up?
No. If it did, I would tell you that. There's nothing you can do to move it faster. It's just because it's still working. So it's just, you're seeing kind of the end process to the product. It's like crazy how it works. And unfortunately, that's the one negative, but it's not, I don't really look at it as a negative, because I'm like, well, what's your alternative? What are you going to do? And nobody has an answer. In fact, we sell to Exxon and Shell Oil and Chevron Oil. I remember I was talking to the guy from Chevron, and he's just watching the whole thing. And I say this as a joke, kind of. I go, well, listen, you're Chevron, like, you're $400 billion company. What kind of stuff, what kind of tricks do you have? And I almost say that to all the big companies, because I know the answer, and they all go, Kevin, we have oil pads and oil dry, or we call an environmental company. We don't have anything. And he goes, when I use all that stuff, I had this one guy tell me, he goes, I have enough oil dry and oil pads to fill this parking lot like 15 times over. And he goes, when we use that, we still have the oil spill. He goes, it doesn't do anything. Just like, it makes people feel good, like we're doing something. But he goes, basically, it doesn't do anything. So again, once you use this a couple times, it's fun to use. When people see it working, they're usually very happy. So it turns into a good situation, as opposed to you trying to hide from the people. What's that?
I told him, just because you said it's fun to do, don't make more spills.
You know what? I'm not even going to take that back, because I mean it. I mean, I've shown up to so many places, and I'm just swinging like 2-gallon jugs in each hand. And I walk in, there's a whole environmental company. Everybody has Tyvek on. It could be an oil spill in somebody's home. This is the one I'm thinking of. And I walk in, I have nothing. I just look like this. I got my bottles. Yeah, real cocky, you know, because I know
short, so.
yeah, and I'm looking at all the stuff they're using, and I'm like, you know, okay, I got these guys, and everybody goes, that's it, that's all you have. I go, yeah, well, come help me. And hey, you do the step one, you do the step two, I'll do the broom, broom it in. Odor disappears instantly. The sheen, all the residue disappears. It makes it non-flammable instantly, so there's no chance of a fire breaking out. It'll also put out a fire, which is kind of crazy, but because it takes away the vapors, you know, because it's encapsulated now. There's no more vapors. So like all characteristics of the oil are basically instantly gone. And then again, the only trick is you have to leave it to let it, you know, do its final thing, which is it dries into that sand. It's kind of it's getting a lot drier. I could walk or ride my car over this right here. It wouldn't slip. It's pretty, you know, it's kind of like a chunky gel at this point. And it's only been, you know, like 10 minutes, but after about an hour, this will be a non-issue. But again,
so should we out on the street? Should we go back in an hour or so and clean that up?
So
what's
you don't
not
you don't clean this up. Yeah, you really need to leave this. It's the best option. You know, I know I have some people who tweak it and do different things. You know, they'll go back and clean it up and stuff, and you're it's a way you're taking away the product, so you're still gonna have some of the oil stain because now you remove the product. Um, and I mean, if it's really sensitive, obviously you might have to do that. I mean, it's rare that we just had one in Beverly Hills, and like it's like the richest place, you know, in the country. And they put me through like 5 meetings of talking about the product on how to use it. I go, guys, you guys are wasting. It's getting worse. You gotta go do it now. You're spending too much time. And then finally they did it, and then they insisted that the power washing company who was doing the application came back. I think they let it sit for like 4 or 5 hours and then power washed it. So they had some marginal success. I could still see the stain a little bit, but it did definitely made it a lot better. So if it's a crazy situation and you have to do it, but if you just talk and you tell people like I'm doing to you guys, that's why I do this. If you just explain to people and you show them the SDS sheet, you show them my website, you show them the product, you go, guys, this is gonna solve the problem. Like let us do it. We'll put a light coating down. Worst case scenario, we may have to come back the next day and retreat some of the spots because if we do a light application, you run the risk of maybe not getting it all. So you run the risk of maybe having to do it twice. But again, this is why you guys using the product and playing around with it is really important because you're gonna know after a couple of times. Let's do a heavy application here. This you know, we had a hydraulic line blow and the whole, you know, it's like a 15-foot area. It's really dark. You know, we're gonna have to do a heavier application here because this is a thing. It's just like washing your hands. How much soap am I going to use? You know, same kind of principle. Um, and then hopefully you can leave it, you know, and let it do its thing. And then sometimes you got to do it again, you know, a day or two later. Just somebody might, you know, it might be lighter but not completely gone, and you just got to do it again. And that's the kind of thing where even myself, like sometimes I'm surprised. Like I'll go back, I'll do a spill, I'll do like maybe a light to medium coating, come back the next day, and I'll see, you know, it's most of it's gone, but there's a couple of areas where it's still heavy. When you have a spill, this is really important. So let's say it's a garbage truck, and every time he stops at a stop sign, let's say, you know, he's driving when it's this hydraulic leak. This is very common. At the stop sign, it's going to be a little heavier there. So when he drove down the road, that's like a light coating of hydraulic, and then when he stopped, you get a little heavier coating. So you may come back the next day and say, "Oh wow, it's gone from the whole street, but over here by the stop sign, it's not really gone. It's just a little lighter." That's because that's where it was the heaviest concentration spilled out. So you know you gotta hit it again. But you'll see that, and that tells you too. You can see where the guy stopped. You can see where the truck basically every time he slowed down or something, you can tell from after using this.
Sound good.
It's really like I said. You know, I'll say it again. It is fun to use. There's no restrictions. You don't need any equipment. You know, you see usually a broom, some sprayers. Oh, the sprayers. Jerry, I'll send you a link to it. But you can probably find it yourself if you just go on Amazon and you put in powered sprayers. You'll get a whole list of. Don't use pump sprayers. The garden sprayers. Those are terrible. And these cost the same amount of money. It's ridiculous. It's literally the same amount of money. It has an internal battery, and I use them all the time. I charge it like once a month, and I use it all the time, and it's fantastic because it comes out, sprays heavy. You know, you get a good spray with the pump spray. It's like a mist coming out. With the powered battery sprayers, it comes out in force, and you can clean up your spill a lot faster.
Do they have them pump sprayers where they're like two sections?
I've been looking for that for 15 years. I haven't seen any that do this because there's no. I don't know of any.
We'll make one.
I've come real close to trying to do that. If you guys can do that, man, I'm in with you. That'll help me out too. But yeah, they have to remain completely separate until they're applied.
That things where it blends together right before it comes out the wand.
Well, even if you just have two wands, one for each one.
That's what you definitely need, 2 wands. Yes.
Double bear wand.
But I will tell you this too. It's just as easy to have two sprayers. I mean, it's not that much more cumbersome than you guys building, making one. It's just as easy to buy the 2. It's not a big deal. Here's the thing too. Make sure, like we make step 1 in one state and we make step 2 in another state. Never the 2 shall come. In our warehouse, we have a section of step 1 and a section of step 2. Because if you mix them, it gels up and you'll ruin your sprayers, or you'll ruin anything that you're doing. So just make sure you keep the product separate. A lot of guys will take the step 2 sprayer and then fill it with step 1, and it will mess up the sprayer. So you definitely want to keep them separate, just because you're gonna ruin your sprayers.
We can't keep them separate like that if that's the case.
Okay.
We will definitely refill it with the or hydraulic fluid or coolant.
I've heard some crazy stuff. New customers, I usually get a call within the first month or 2, and they say, it won't be you, Jerry, because now you guys in the room, because it'll be somebody else. And I go, hey, your product's defective. It went bad. It's something wrong with your product. And I already know where this is going. And I go, well, what's that? What happened? Well, it's all just solid in the drum. Or I actually had a guy a 55-gallon drum do it. He thought he was clever, and he put step 1, step 2 in the drum. And it turned it thinks it's cleaning oil, and it turns to a gel and starts to do its thing. And I say, any chance you put step 1 in the step 2? And they go, no way, no, I didn't do that. And then I keep talking to them, and then by the end of the call, they all go, maybe somebody did it. I had some jackass here the other day. I think he might have did it. And I'm like, you did, because there's no way. What's that?
It's the same pump. This one pumped out of that one.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think more I think about it, I think we should get 2 55-gallon drums of each one of those and some bags of powder here. Yep. And let's test it, work it, figure it out, and then we'll send it to Tunnel Hill and Athens.
That's a great idea too. I like to see people start slow. The worst thing is if I do a meeting, I have a big meeting, 40, 50, 60 people in the meeting. And I usually think, at first I'm like, this is great. And then I kind of cringe because I know a lot of people in that room are going to mess it up. They're going to mess it. It's going to be work bad on me. So I like to see a couple of guys use it, get a success story, and then start rolling it out, safely. So everybody know, like, listen, here's how you do it. That's the best way to go slow.
So the powder, does it come in 55-gallon drum also?
So this comes in 30-pound bags, 10-pound bags, 30-pound bags. 30-pound bags are going to be the best because that's how we make it, actually, make it in 30-pound bags. And we have just open 800-pound box totes where you just get a big box and it has a liner and it's just loose powder. Those are great because you can make your own kits. Some guys want it in a bucket, some guys want a small bag, some guys want a lot. So you can make your own.
Yeah, the bag thing. I think we could probably.
That'd be the best for us. Bags. We just put it on the pallet store.
5-10 bags.
Yeah. So we're only going to use it for the spill.
Yeah, do me a thing. Yeah, 5 or 10 bags, whatever.
Okay.
And then a 55-gallon drum of each, and send it here. Send me a quote or whatever. I'll get you a PO.
Okay.
I'll get Christy. I mean, I think you were on the email with Christy. You can send it to her too.
Yeah, you were going to get me a PO for that order that you had already. I didn't
get you one?
No, she didn't give me anything. In fact, I didn't even hear from her.
Yeah, I'll follow up with her.
Okay, because I know the other brand
thing, and I'll get her a PO if you want, just to put it all on one.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll just get you a PO for all of it, and we'll get you paid.
Perfect.
All right.
So same address as everything as the okay.
301 Marcus Cove. Just go ahead if you would, get it out as soon as you can.
Yep, it'll leave today. That's a good thing too. When you guys do order, if you have an emergency and you call me up, I could ship everything immediately. So if you need next day shipping, any of those things, it's not a problem. I hate to do it because it's, UPS is making a fortune off that. But if you do need it, it's available.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna say we won't ever, but yeah, the plan is to keep some here. And like I said, I'm opening a new division up the road, a couple hours, Tunnel Hill. So once we get going there, we're about a month or two out. Then I'll put some up there, and then if something ever happens here, we could borrow from each other.
Okay.
And then I'll put some in my Athens location.
Okay. When I first started with you guys, I had this guy Todd. You know Todd Mitchell he was the GM in the Medway, Florida location. And he was nasty. This guy, man, he's so mean, and I don't know why. Because I'll do anything. I'm here to help you. Like he's yelling at me all the time. Because he started using it, and then he'd always run out, and he'd want me to like overnight totes, which costs a fortune. It's like shipping a car overnight, and he would just be so aggressive with me. I don't know why, and I hate when I see him call. I'd be like, oh god, he'd just be yelling at me because he needed it, and he always ran out, and it was just always a nightmare. So having the product you'll see when you use it and you see how great it works, and you don't have it, you'll see, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Well, once we get going up yonder, I can put totes and the big 800-pound blocks of the powder.
That's a great way to. That's just great because now you got plenty of product. It's
keep it inside and all that.
Inside or outside, in or out, doesn't matter.
Yeah, but up there we just bought a new building this monster, so up there is plenty of room. So what I'll do is once we get going, I'll get a totes of each one.
Okay.
And then like the big box of the powder, we keep it there if we ever run across where oh shit, we can go get it. So,
okay. That's a great option.
We don't have that many spills, but like you say, when we do have them, it's pain. It's a fire sale.
Yeah. That's my whole business is kind of like this because some guys order like a ton and then I don't hear from them for 6-8 months. I don't hear from anybody.
Yeah.
So it's because that's the nature of oil spills. It's not a regular thing. It's not like garbage.
Yeah. we don't have too many, but when you do have them, it's always in the most expensive neighborhood we have, and it's always bad.
Yes. So. Yes. And it's on a Friday, like 3:30, 4. It's good, something like that. I get those too, the Friday afternoon calls. So I'm like, so all right, cool. So we'll do a 1 drum of each and 10 bags.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll start with that. The drums come with pumps too. It's a plastic pump. You put it in the bung on the top, and then and it has about a 4-foot hose, and then you could just make your own kits. And we try to make it easy for you, so you don't have to do too much.
We'll go get some sprayers and just keep them on hand. We'll make a station for it, and it stays here.
Okay.
Okay.
If you want, I mean, I have a couple of those. I'm going to send you a video of it. I have some of the powered sprayers. If you want, I'll include 2 just so you can see what they are and make sure you get the right ones.
That'll work.
Yeah, this way it gets you started, get you moving.
Yeah, and then like the shop truck and the supervisor's truck, take them gallon ones like that, put them on it.
Yeah.
That way they can roll and start it.
Yep. And if you start making your own kits or refilling things, which I highly recommend, because now your cost comes way down. I could give you labels too. So I could email them to you, and you could just print them out and have your own labels.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, all the supervisor trucks will take like the gallon jugs of each one, So if you got labels, go ahead and send them to us.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Definitely.
All right.
You got it.
Hey, man, I appreciate you.